Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm your host, Nina.
And I'm Matt. Today we are talking about an article called A Symbol of Britain, the Red Phone Box. And today we're looking at part 2 of that one.
Yeah, in part 1, I feel like we used so many different words, Britain and England and the UK or the United Kingdom. What is the difference?
Okay, well, people often get these words confused because if you don't live there, you might not think about it as much.
Yeah.
But this word Britain, as we have in our title, the symbol of Britain, Britain refers to the island that has some of the countries within the UK on it. So the large island where England, Scotland, and Wales are is called Britain.
Okay.
Okay? When we talk about the UK, we're talking about Britain, which includes England, Scotland, and Wales.
Yeah.
But we're also talking about Northern Ireland, which is also a part of the UK, even though it's not on Britain.
What about the other parts of Ireland?
Okay, so the other parts of Ireland, well, that's a separate country called the Republic of Ireland. But the island of Ireland, along with the island of Britain and the other islands that surround that area, are called the British Isles.
Wow, that is very complicated.
Right, so it's a lot to remember. So just remember that England, Scotland, and Wales are in Britain.
Okay, and London is in England.
That's right.
Okay, and usually you see this symbol of Britain, I think mostly in England, right?
I would most commonly think of England myself, but I'm not sure. I've never been to Scotland.
No, me neither. Maybe someone can go and let us know.
Sadly, the UK's red phone boxes are losing their purpose and might not exist anymore. Only 20,000 of the nearly 100,000 phone boxes are still in operation. Thanks to a special program, people across the UK are giving new life to the phone boxes. For just £1, groups can take one on. Many already changed their local phone boxes into useful spaces.
Welcome everyone. So today we're talking about part 2 of A Symbol of Britain, the Red Phone Box. And in part 1, we learned how in the past we didn't have cell phones, right? So it was very difficult to make phone calls when people were out in the public. So they had to track down payphones, and they had an architect that actually designed a red big payphone box, right? And that was so popular that it's most commonly known in the UK.
Everyone knows about these red phone boxes associated with the UK.
Yeah.
Sadly, the UK's red phone boxes are losing their purpose and might not exist anymore.
That makes sense because their purpose is for people to use the phone when they are in public. But nowadays, I would say most people have their own cell phones, right?
So there's not much need for these phone boxes anymore.
So they're losing their purpose. So purpose means the reason why you do something or why something exists. So in this case, they're losing their purpose. They have no use anymore.
That's right. There's no reason for people to go in the phone boxes. You don't need to make a call very often without your cell phone anymore. You can just use your cell phone. So it's easy enough now.
Yeah, maybe they can just keep a few in case your phone dies.
That's right, yeah.
Another example sentence would be, the purpose of a hammer is to help you build things. Okay, so everything, I would like to think everything has a purpose.
Okay, so to exist means to be real, to be around, to be something that you can see and touch usually. You can say, I exist, you exist, dogs and cats exist, but dragons
do not
exist. At least I I don't believe they exist.
Or you can say they only exist in movies.
Good, yeah. So they are real in some movies. So they do exist in movies, but not in our world, unfortunately.
Yeah. So continuing with the article, only 20,000 of the nearly 100,000 phone boxes are still in operation. Okay, so when you're saying they are still in operation, that means they are still working, right? So I guess that means that most of them are not being used. Maybe they're just there because it symbolizes the UK.
Yeah, so yeah, there's only 20,000, so only 1/5 of them are still in operation. Yeah, so as you mentioned, in operation means working or being in use at this time or in working order. So they're being maintained. They still, have a dial tone. When you pick it up, you can hear that sound.
You can still use it, basically.
You can still use it. So it might mean that there are some, but they're not in operation, meaning they're not functional. They can't be used.
All right. And we also have another word called nearly, and it's an adverb. It means almost, not quite, but very close. So for example, she was nearly finished with her homework when her friend called. Okay.
Thanks to a special program, people across the UK are giving new life to the phone boxes.
Interesting. I wonder what they are doing. For just £1, groups can take one on. Many already changed their local phone boxes into useful spaces.
Okay.
Interesting. So you can actually take a phone box and make it into a space.
Make it into a useful space. So I wonder what kind of spaces, what kind of things one could do with a phone box. I think I actually, 2 weeks ago, I was caught in a rainstorm when I was riding a bike, and I actually went into a phone booth to wait for the rainstorm to pass.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's pretty useful. Useful is something that helps you or that you need. So I can imagine like maybe restaurants or some stores, they could have this phone box as decoration or use the space for putting in their products.
Okay, I thought you were about to say have a very small restaurant in a phone box.
Or maybe just a one-seater if you...
A one-seated restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for example, a map is useful when you're trying to find your way in a new place.
Okay, so there's one useful thing. Yeah, so I'm curious about what kinds of useful ideas people could have for it is such a small space that it doesn't seem like it would be easy to come up with new ways to use it, because really when you're using a phone booth, you're just standing talking on a phone.
Exactly.
So they've only given you enough space for one standing person. So it's...
Yeah. I mean, I could imagine you taking out the front door and having it designed into a seat, so kind of like a sofa booth.
Okay.
And then you can have a desk outside or a table.
That sounds like one useful way to use them.
Yes.
All right, we're going to find out some more uses for these phone boxes when we come back after the break.
Okay.
The famous red boxes are now home to libraries, art galleries, and more. They are valuable to people and their communities once again.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were continuing to talk about these red phone boxes in the UK and how sadly they're starting to lose their purpose and they might not continue to exist for much longer. However, there is a group which is helping to keep these boxes around, and for just £1, people can take one on and try to find a new useful purpose for these red phone boxes.
All right, now let's find out how people are using these red phone boxes. The famous red boxes are now home to libraries, art galleries, and more. Kind of what I said before the break, we learned that you could use it as decoration or display, right? So gallery is a room or building where you can look at art.
Okay, this would be a very small art gallery if it's inside a phone booth.
Or maybe the phone booth is the art.
Okay.
In the gallery. For example, we visited the art gallery to see the new paintings on display and the new phone booth.
The new phone booth on display, yes. They are valuable to people and their communities once again. So valuable is a word which can mean worth a lot of money or can also mean worth something that is like equal to money. So maybe just has value to you means it means a lot to you and you cherish something, you don't want to lose it. Maybe you wouldn't give it up for $1 million. That means it's very valuable to someone.
Yes.
So these phone booths can continue to be valuable or worth something to their communities.
Yeah, so I could say my most valuable thing is my family, right? Okay. So another word, community. A group of people who live in the same area or have the same interests. So this community had the same interest of wanting to keep these red phone boxes, right? So they made a way so that they can stay alive. So an example sentence would be, the local community came together to clean up the park.
Okay, so it's nice that people have found a way to, keep these phone boxes around because I think they are important not only, for these communities, but just as a tourism thing because I think when people travel to the UK or to Britain, you expect to see these phone booths and you want to take a picture with them. So they certainly need to keep some of them around because people will be disappointed not to see them.
Or people won't go to the UK at all. Just kidding.
Just kidding. There's still plenty of other things to see as well. But it's nice to, look up from the red phone booth and see, Big Ben, the big clock tower there through the window.
That's true. All right. So this is it for our article today. We learned a little bit more about the red phone boxes or red phone booths in Britain.
In Britain.
Yes.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Sadly, the UK's red phone boxes are losing their purpose and might not exist anymore. Only 20,000 of the nearly 100,000 phone boxes are still in operation. Thanks to a special program, people across the UK are giving new life to the phone boxes. For just £1, groups can take one on. Many already changed their local phone boxes into useful spaces. The famous red boxes are now home to libraries, art galleries, and more. They are valuable to people and their communities once again.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 purpose 名词，用途、目的。The purpose of a refrigerator is to keep food fresh. 冰箱的用途是保持食物新鲜。下一个单字 nearly 副词，将近，几乎。I have nearly finished the book you lent me. 你借给我的那本书我快要看完了。下一个单字 useful 形容词，实用的，有用的。Learning a new language is useful for traveling to different countries. 学习一门新语言对于去不同的国家旅行是很有帮助的。最后一个单字 valuable 形容词，有价值的，有注意的。Maggie gave me some valuable tips for baking cookies. Maggie 给我一些烤饼干的宝贵技巧。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 in operation 运作中。Operation 是不可数名词，意思是运作、运行。我们来看看这个例句。Most of the computers are in operation right now. 现在大部分的电脑都在运作中。下一个文法 Somebody gives new life to something. 某人赋予某事物新生命。也可以说 somebody gives something new life， 形容让某事物更有活力、更有趣。注意 life 这里横用单数。我们来看看这个例句。My mom gave new life to our garden by growing some flowers. 我妈妈种植了一些花，为我们的花园带来了新的活力。最后一个文法 take something on， 接手、承担某事物。这是一个可以分开的动词片语。我们来看看这个例句。Kevin decided to take on the new project. Kevin 决定接手这个新企划。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Have you ever heard of the word union? Union means the action of being joined together. Today, we're going to visit Chiayi Train Station, which used to be a Union train station. So what is a Union train station? It's a train station that has more than one railway line. So how many railway lines did Chiayi Train Station have? Well, we're going to find out today. In Taiwan, there are some Union train stations with 3 different rail systems. These 3 different rail systems are usually railway, high-speed rail, and MRT. Chiayi Train Station was also a Union train station before, but it had a very different story. Chiayi Train Station was the first Union train station in Taiwan. This Union train station had the Western Trunk Line, the Alishan Forest Railway, and the Taiwan Sugar Railways. They had their own industries and features. The Western Trunk Line was the busiest line. It served many passengers every day. Until now, it was a main route to take passengers to their destinations. The Alishan Forest Railway was used to deliver wood. Its route was upwards around the mountain. Now it is used for tourism. Many tourists take the train to Alishan. The Taiwan Sugar Railways had a lot of routes in Taiwan. They carried sugarcane to mills. Of all the lines of sugar railways, the Beigang Line had the most traffic volume. Now all the lines of sugar railways are not used anymore. Chiayi Train Station is important in railway history. It experienced a lot of changes. Chiayi Train Station gives us a lot of memories. Now that we've caught a glimpse of its unique history, you definitely shouldn't miss the chance to visit Chiayi Train Station. Hope to see you there!